Hi, hi mate, how you doing?
How are you? I'm good,
Yeah,
mate. How are you?
yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good. You've got a day off today, have you?
I have, mate. I've got to have some X-rays and some MRI scans on my back tomorrow in London, so I'm resting up this week, really.
What's that? What's that about? You injured at the minute?
I am, mate. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you what it is. I've suffered with a back problem for about 18 months, 2 year, but
Yeah,
this last week or two has been like the worst it's ever been. So I booked in with a specialist down in London, so I'm going to go there and get it sorted.
it's proper debilitating having a bad back, isn't it?
It's not worse, mate. Honestly, especially in this game as well. It's horrible. Obviously, I can't run or out properly, or I can't roll underneath shots properly or out. So I'm in a
Oh,
bit of a shit situation at the minute. I've just been offered a fight as well, so
oh no way.
I'm
Who was
in.
that? Who was that with?
I'm not too sure who the opponent is or out yet, but I've been asked if I want to fight on a show on December 6th, behind closed doors. So determine what the practice is tomorrow. I'm gonna obviously give them my answer then.
Yeah, was that? Did Mark set that up? Was that Bateson?
Yeah, Max. Someone's reached out to Mark and asked if he wants to put me on it. So, like, obviously, I want to fight, mate, but at the same time, I don't want to because obviously I'm representing Mark as well as my manager. So I don't want to. I don't want to say yeah, I'll fight, and then halfway through a camp, I've got to pull out because my back's not right. Do you know what I mean? It looks bad on him too.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I want to make sure I'm 100%, and not just that, mate. I'm only 25. I've got no rush to fight. I don't. It's not like I'm 30 odd year old and I need the fight. Do you know what I mean? I could have another 3-4 month out to make sure my back's 100%.
And then you don't want to be, especially now, you're 10-0. You got everyone in England's watching you because obviously you come from rugby league, as everyone always loves to talk about with you. It's every time, and
Yeah, yeah,
everything I've seen with you, everyone loves to talk about the fact you're a rugby league. But so you
yeah.
don't want to be throwing it away early, do you? It's definitely
No,
not worth
it's
it.
not, mate.
So I was looking. I've seen that obviously you came from rugby league and you got into boxing, and that did it come around from an injury? Was it
Um, I'm, I always trained boxing wise when I was young. Like I think I started boxing when I was like about 9, I'd say.
Yeah.
Started rugby when I was about 7, 8 year old, and then I started boxing at 9 because where I started rugby training, there was a boxing club literally at the bottom of the field.
Nice?
So I ended up going there and started boxing, but rugby just took off, so I could never compete. Do you know what I mean? I could never like pursue boxing as a career as I did for rugby because I ended up turning out being an after a decent rugby player. So I could never compete in boxing wise, and then obviously that happened when I was doing my strength and conditioning, and I just thought I'm young enough here to go because I was a prop forward at rugby, and prop forwards don't mature in rugby league till about 28. Really, that's
Yeah.
the 28 to 30, probably the best years. Do you know what I mean? So I thought I'm young enough here with this injury. I thought I'm young enough to try boxing because I still train boxing all the time, but rugby obviously I can compete because rugby was my job. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, when this injury happened, I was like, I'm young enough here to go and try boxing, and if it don't work out, I'm still young enough to come back and play rugby. So yeah, I did that, mate, and thankfully I never looked back.
That's class to be fair. I love how like, blasé it is for our pro rugby player got injured, might pick up boxing. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of players you see get injured at a young age, and they just don't they never really come back for it. So that's fantastic. That really impresses me actually. So like you didn't have an amateur career either, did you? Because I was looking this morning on BoxRec and there was no amateur records. So how did you like? What was the
No,
process of
no.
coming back from your injury and then your first pro fight?
So now of where I am is obviously I don't regret playing rugby at all, but for where I am now in boxing, I always think I wish I'd have done amateur. I wish I'd have done amateur. Just to like if I'd have done well in amateur, you can get fast tracked as a pro. Do you know what I mean?
Head
You've
start,
got
isn't it?
you've like yeah, you've already got your learning fights out of the way, and you're ready to go really. Whereas me now, I've turned pro, but I'm only just doing my learning fights, which I should have been able to do in amateur. But um, coming like turning pro straight away, basically, obviously I went down to Golden Team. One of my mates, this is the thing as well, I didn't even go to box. Like, when I finished rugby, I went down to just to Thai box, just to get back fit and stuff like that. I went to a Thai boxing gym with my mate, Steve Wayne, and I got a gym called Golden Team in Unslet. And I went down there, mate, to start Thai boxing, and I ended up being decent at that too. So we were looking at putting me into K1.
No way.
So we're gonna do K1, yeah. And then I think something got said between my coach and Steve. I went down with my mate, and I think Steve just says, like, should see him box. He's boxed before, like, he's a really good boxer. So we went and did a session, and people were like, right, we're just going to do hands today. He didn't actually tell me him and Steve had this conversation. He just went, right, lads, we were in class, and they were like, right, lads, we're going to do just hands only today. So I'm like, all right, sweet. So me naturally got into, obviously it's a different stance, but naturally got straight into my boxing stance, and ended up doing really well. And they were like, right, we're not even doing K1, we're just going to go box. So we started boxing training, mate, and then sparring local lads and whatnot, and in class and stuff. And then obviously I was dropping weight and getting fit at the same time. And then Mark Bateson, we reached out to Mark Bateson, and we're like, my coach did it. My coach P, Porrick McDonough, he reached out to Mark Bateson, and we're like, there's a lad here who's a local lad, knows a lot of people. If he wants to turn pro, if you wanted to have a look at him, he'd be, he can sell a lot of tickets, and but just to have a look at him, see what you think. So Mark Bateson ended up taking me over to Colliers and Moston in Manchester.
Manchester.
To spar Lyndon Arthur. And that was like my first spar, like sparring a pro, like my first live spar.
Is he still Commonwealth? He had the Commonwealth belt for a while, didn't he?
No, he's still got it. Yeah, he's still Commonwealth champion. Yeah.
In the deep end, then in Moston as well. Wow.
It was. Yeah, I know. Mate, I remember walking in gym, and there were pit bull rolling. There were pit bulls walking about gyms, and like it was good though, because they were all great people in there. Pat Barrett, great bloke, and then Zelfo training, Zelfo sparring Jack at the same time. So Jack Bateson, Mark Bateson, and Porrick McDonough went over to Colliers and Moston, because Jack was sparring Zelfa and I was sparring Lyndon.
No way.
And that's how it went. So we went over there, mate, and like I said, that was my first spar against, obviously, someone of a great caliber like Lyndon. So I just in a way, mate, I just thought, fuck it, I'm here now. And when we got in ring, I was just like, fuck it, like let's just see how it pans out. So I ended up doing well, mate. I ended up doing really well. And Pat Barrett, I remember Pat Barrett calling me a ringer, like saying that we were lying about that I'd not done anything and all this stuff. So that it ended up going really good, mate. And Mark were just like, yeah, sound, we'll get you in front of a boxing board, and I'd like to sign you. We'll go from there. And then obviously with no amateur career as well, I had to, when I went into front of British Boxing Board of Control, obviously they were looking at me, and it was crazy, because I went into the meeting and there's full boxing board panel sat in front of me and Mark, and they knew everything about me. I'd never boxed before, but they knew everything about me, my rugby, where I was playing, my injury, everything. And obviously, because I'd not done any amateurs, mate, I had to do a full assessment.
No way.
I had to go over to Harrogate, mate, and I had to skip, shadow box, stretch, hit pads, do a technical spar, all in front of, to be assessed, to be assigned off to be able to get my pro license.
You've been doing that since you were like 9, hadn't you? So.
Yeah, well, it said that. It said that did Rob Smith. He said it was one of the easiest assessments he's ever done. Like, and to be fair, when I was doing it, it didn't really take much notice. He must have just seen me skipping and shadow boxing and whatnot, and he must have just thought, oh, is sweet. So I just plodded on through the session, and he did say, mate, he said it was just very easy, one of the easiest assessments he's done. So yeah, that's how we went pro, mate.
Class. And then obviously at the minute, like I came up to Leeds for uni like 2 years ago with the intention of becoming a boxing journalist, and Leeds has become such a hot pot for up and coming talent. Like MTK have started a Leeds office and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How much has being in Leeds helped you out, do you think, for becoming a pro boxer?
It has massively, but I think obviously it's your Josh Warrington that's put Leeds on the map straight away. Do you know what I mean? He's the first Leeds champion, and he's a local estate kid. Like, so he's been the one that's really put Leeds on the map. But it is, mate. Leeds does seem to be growing massively for boxing.
Yeah.
Which is obviously it's good for us. And then, like you say, you've got your MTK that's come to Leeds, so that's obviously a big thing as well. And yeah, mate, there's some great stables in Leeds, even amateurs. There's some great gyms. There's some like to be fair, mate. I'd say there's a lot more kids nowadays than there was a few years ago walking into gyms now, and which is good to see. You know what I mean? And actually wanting to box and train instead of just doing whatever on the streets. So it's nice to see the boxing's growing, mate, in Leeds.
Definitely, well, because there is just so much talent. Like, I was on the phone with Jack Bateson last week. Obviously, there's just so much. Do you think you could follow what Josh Warrington's done? Maybe get right up to the top.
I mean, that's the plan, mate. Like, well, I say that's the plan, but for me, mate, boxing's more of a like, I don't have too many. I mean, I don't know, but like some people might say this is the wrong way to look at it, but I don't have too many boxing goals.
No,
I have more of a. I have more of a giving goal, like a family goal for me, and boxing could help me achieve that. So that's how I look at boxing.
Fantastic.
Boxing is something that can help me achieve what I want to do and give to my family eventually.
In life, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because obviously, like, you had your big injury, you had to come back. It must have been like you were out for a while, weren't you? So how much, like, is self-motivation a big thing for you?
It was at that time, mate, when I snapped my chest, yeah, because I literally couldn't pick up a 2.5 kilo dumbbell at one point. Like, I'd gone from doing three rep max on, I don't know how much it was, like over 150 kilo, 170 kilo that I was bench pressing, and that's what snapped my chest. So going from lifting that to not being able to pick a 2.5 kilo dumbbell up because of obviously the operation I'd had and the prehab that I had to go through, I had to start on like like therapy bands to
like resistance bands. Oh,
yeah,
you must have felt awful.
I did, mate, and sometimes I was just in a like a not a dark place, mate, but mentally I was just like, I'm not gonna fucking come back from this. Like, it's knackered me. Do you know what I mean? So I'd say that alone has helped me mentally. You know, like, I've always been involved with tough sports anyway. So as rugby, you don't need really self-motivation because you've got like 25, 30 men training with you and another 18 playing with you on game days. So self-motivation wasn't really needed back then because, like I say, you had all them people doing it. So that was a big transition going into boxing where I had to be self-motivated because obviously I was getting up and running on my own, and your diet, your morning runs, your weights, your strength and conditioning, it's all on your own. It's just you. You might have a coach there, but it's just you. Do you know what I mean? And I do think the injury helped me in that sense because before even going into boxing, obviously I had to be self-motivated to make sure I was doing my band work, my recovery. So I do think it had a big part to playing self-motivation for training boxing-wise. Yeah, definitely.
Do you prefer it? Do you prefer it like sort of the intrinsic, boxing you're on your own rather than being part of the squad in rugby?
It's different. I mean, I don't miss playing, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I do miss the changing room with the boys. Like, a rugby league changing room, mate, it's a good crack. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah. But I've definitely, for me, made the best choice. I'm definitely the healthiest and fittest I've been. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So yeah, and not just that as well, you miss out on a lot of stuff with rugby. Like, when I used to play rugby, I couldn't go on holiday at all until like November time when season had finished. Whereas now, even just like I say, mate, just normal day-to-day life stuff's just better. If I want to go on holiday, I can literally book an holiday as easy as that. Where with rugby days you couldn't. So I don't miss the sport. I just miss the I suppose the crack with lads, because getting up and running on your own or Like when we finish this, mate, like I'm gonna head out for. I'm gonna see how my back is anyway. I'm gonna stretch out and try and head out for a run, and it's just different, mate. Being on your own, but like you said before, mate, that's where the self motivation comes in, I suppose, isn't it?
Definitely. So I was really impressed when I seen the picture of you with Chisora. So tell me about that. How did that come around?
So my strength and conditioner, Reese Elite Step. He, I believe Derek Chisora's strength and conditioner. It was I don't know if it was strength and conditioner, but it was some part of Derek Chisora's team.
Yeah.
And obviously he's fighting the cruiserweight king Alexander Usyk, so it was southpaw like myself.
Yeah.
So obviously there's not too many southpaw boxers really at heavyweight and cruiserweight, so they reached out to him. He put him onto my coach Porrick, and then we just went down, mate. We started a day out and went down and got some rounds in with him, which was a phenomenal experience. Do you know what I mean? Getting in with someone of a caliber of being in the top 5 heavyweights in the world. I bet he doesn't punch light either. No, mate, it doesn't. Nah. Not at all. Like he can dig, mate. Honestly, is definitely the strongest I've ever been in ring with. The biggest I've ever been in ring with. I sparred with a lot of heavyweights, but nowhere, not to, like I say, a caliber of Derek Chisora. And we walked in, and obviously David A were there. There were David A, Brian Jennings, Thomas Carty, Lenroy Thomas.
Yeah.
Like there were some big names in there, and some big guys. Yeah. So it was just to watch them spar alone as well. What to watch them spar, mate. Like I say, I went in there and there were some big names in there, so it was inspiring to watch, mate, and to even be in and around that environment and see how they work, and it was great to see, mate. It was good to be a part of it. Big learning opportunity, I bet. Massive learning opportunity. Like I say, mate, literally just standing and watching. Them boys go to work. It was like even when I'd finished my round with him, to stand and watch him spar with other lads, and then for him to get out of the ring and to watch what he were doing, like as to ab work and the air bike that he were on after sparring, and just stuff that he were doing, mate. Just to, like I say, just to be a part of it and just to watch what they do. It was good, mate. I really enjoyed it. Excellent. Who have you got? Chisora or Usyk? See, points I go Usyk, knockout I go Derek. Yeah. Because the thing is, Usyk's probably never been hit, but as hard as by anyone as big as him before. I can't see it. Yeah, but he's like the Alexander Usyk's, mate, is so skillful. Like basically, like you box Alexander Usyk, you're losing. Simple as that. You have a boxing match with him, you're gonna lose. So for me, Derek Chisora is going to go in there and have a fight with him, and do you know what I mean? He's not going to box. He's going to have a fight with him. Yeah, hit him on the back of the head, all sorts. It'll be 100%. He's got to. That's the only way you can beat him. Yeah. If Chisora tried to, it wouldn't. But I think, like, fundamentally wise, Usyk could be one of the best in the world. So if Chisora beats him, like, the sky's the limit for him, really, isn't it? Yeah, pound for pound, mate, is Alexander Usyk's one of the best on planet. But Derek's just got to be. But that's Derek. But to be fair, that's Derek's game. Derek Chisora's game's not to be bouncing about boxing and he's like, let's go. Like his nickname's War Chisora. Do you know what I mean? He don't want to box. He just wants to hurt you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I bet you loved getting in the ring with him, didn't you? You know what, mate? When I walked in there. I walked into the gym and I was getting changed, and one of his team members came over and they were like, "Mick, you're over 100 kilo, aren't you?" And I went, "Hey," he went, "You're over 100 kilo, aren't you?" I said, "No, mate, I'm not." He went, "What are you?" I says, "I'm 91, 92 key." He went, "Oh, fucking hell." So he went like, he's 120 kilo, like. Oh. And I was like, yeah, I know. He says, we thought you'd be over 100 kilo because you know fights coming with your cruiserweight. I thought you might have blown up. Yeah. And I'm like, no, I stay around my fight weight. I naturally walk around at my fight weight. So they were like, right, well, Derek, basically, they were like, Derek's is like, just when you spar with him, mate, is going to war with you. Is
Yeah,
not going to box or be nice. Is literally
100%.
is imitating his fight. He's going to try and put you away. So keep your hands up. Don't stop moving and ping as much as you can. Just ping and move, ping and move, ping. Don't sit down with him. Don't sit in pocket with him. So I was like, when I walked in the gym, I thought, well, I'm not planning on sitting in pocket with Derek Chisora anyway.
You know.
I'm going to move. I'm not staying still for a second. So, and they went, also, you've got to wear obviously these 20-ounce gloves.
Yeah.
Which are like pillows, like big gloves. Do you know what I mean?
Lead balloons on the end of your arms.
Yeah. But yeah, mate, and that's what I did when I got in there. I literally just moved as much as I could, and because I wasn't sitting in pocket with him, mate. He's a big boy, and it takes one shot to off someone like that. One shot will put you stiff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I was. Have you seen this new thing Tony Bellew's looking into about a super cruiserweight class? Oh, this Wi-Fi.
Yes, but
yeah,
it's a weird one though, because is he doing it from? Is he doing it from cruiserweight, super cruiser heavy?
Yeah, it's going to bridge the gap, I think, between cruiserweight and heavyweight. By the looks of things.
See, I think it's, for me personally, I think it should be the other way around. Like, I think there needs to be something between light heavy and cruiser.
Yeah, because that's like that's 25 pounds, isn't it, or 15 pounds, isn't it? 175 to 200.
Yeah.
2
stone.
So you might be right. Actually, that might have been what it was.
175 to 200.
Yeah,
I think it is, mate. It's definitely. It's not, mate. It's cruiser and heavy. It's not like heavy. I think it'd be something between, like, because for me, like, there's talks of me going down to light heavy.
Yeah.
And that's just because I walk, like, now I'm walking around at my fight weight, and I shouldn't be. I should be, but I just naturally walk around at this. So we're currently talking about, like, looking at light heavy. Just be, like I say, because I'm walking around at my fight weight at cruiser. So, but 2 stone's a big jump, mate. It's a lot for me to lose. Do you know what I mean? I'm walking around at 14.4 and I'm lean at it. So it's a difficult transition to 12 and a half stone to 14.4.
Yeah, and people that would be more comfortable at the sort of 12 and a half to then go up, you wouldn't be fighting fit, really, would you? You can't. It's hard to pack on 2 stone of muscle.
It would, mate. Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Well, I think if I do it the other way, I think if I go down to light heavy, I think it'd go the bang opposite way. I think, dead shot up, I'd carry my power down, but it's just whether I'd make the weight or not, because it's so big, such a drop.
Would that be something is that something that's definitely on your sort of roadmap going to light heavy?
Yeah, we're talking about it at the minute. And because as well as a cruiser, I'm a short cruiser. You know what I mean? I'm only 6'1", 6'2", so that's not even the biggest cruiser. Like, my smallest opponent throughout my 10 fights has been 6'4".
Oh.
So it's an awkward one for me, mate. Like I said, from my rugby days as well, I carry big legs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've got big legs, so it's something I'm gonna have to look into, mate, with a nutritionist and my strength and conditioning and my coach P. But we are speaking about looking at light heavy at the minute. So we'll see what happens.
Good man. Well, Mick, thank you very much for talking to me today, mate. I really appreciate it. And good luck with your back X-ray. I hope that all goes well.
No, nice one, Josh. I appreciate it, mate.
Top man. And then if you get this fight confirmed, I'll if you're up for it, we'll have another chat about if you find out the opponent and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
Top man. All right, mate. Take it easy, mate.
You too, mate. Have a good one, pal.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye, mate.